Okay, so we can see that we've got the LiveCode repository um, cloned locally, and we've got a demo. We've set up a demo user on this computer, and the LiveCode repository is in its home directory, and inside you'll see all the files from that the LiveCode is built on, and you can look inside the docs directory, a dictionary, commands, and you can see all the commands there. So what we're going to do is demonstrate editing a document using SourceTree instead of using the command line or using the GitHub web interface. So the first thing we need to do is set up our repository. So we've got if we've made our on GitHub, if we've gone and set up a fork, so you've clicked on the fork button and you set up your user account, you fork the repository, and then you've set up SourceTree and added your forked account, your forked repo to SourceTree. It will download it for you, and you'll see a bookmark like this showing the repositories that you have locally and what branch they're on. And so if you go to add remote, what we need to do is add in a remote called upstream. I've already done it in this repository. It's called upstream, and it's pointing to the team's repository. So you've made a fork, and in this case it's Monty Golding-demo as the user, but on GitHub you will have made a fork, and it will be your username /livecode.git, and then you have that will be called origin, which is the main origin of your repository. It's where if you make a change, then you push it to origin, and then from origin you will then do what's called a pull request against the team's version of the repository, and say, here I've got this change that you could add to your version, and then everybody can have it rather than just me. So what we call the team's version, the sort of the primary version, is we call it upstream because it's upstream of our version. So we click on edit here, and you can see that you just enter in a name, you enter in the URL for it, and you can add in your extra GitHub information, so because there's a little bit of extra integration for GitHub so that you can open up a pull request directly from SourceTree, which is quite helpful. So I don't need to actually do anything, so I'll just cancel, but you would set this extra remote up, and then once you've done that, you would check out this community docs branch. Instead of clicking on your one in this origin remote, you would actually go to upstream, and you would find it down here. Hopefully one day we will delete all these bug fix branches so that from our main repository, so that people don't have to filter through them. But you would find the community docs branch, and you would just double click on that, and that would check that branch out locally, and you'd end up with the community docs branch here. Right, and then whenever you've between changes, what you want to do is check out this community docs branch and not actually make any change to it, but click on this pull button up here, and what that does is it'll update your community docs branch with the latest from upstream. You want to make sure that this is upstream, not origin, because origin won't have the changes from the main team. You want that the upstream will, because that's this LiveCode/livecode.git. So you click on that, click OK, and any changes that have happened, any new commits, will then be included in your version, your local branch. Okay, so now before we make any changes to anything, the first thing we want to do is click on branch, and then we will I've found something I want to fix in this demonstration, so I'm going to call this branch fix copy syntax, and then create branch. Okay, so now we've got this checked out. It's highlighted. It's got a little dot next to it, and it's highlighted in bold. And you can see that there's this marker here, fix copy syntax, that is right on the same commit. That's the commit reference there. All these branches are they're nothing but a pointer to a commit. They're just a friendly name for a commit. So all these branches, the upstream community docs, the one on origin, which we actually don't need to worry about at all, and our local community docs, and this fixed copy syntax, all point to this one commit. So when we make a change, as we're now on this fixed copy syntax branch, that will move forward to a new commit, but these other ones won't move forward. And so what a pull request does is it says, right, I've got this branch with some commits that is a derivative of this commit here, which is already in your upstream community docs. I think you'd like it. I'm going to send you this information. You will have a look at it, and then if you like it, then you can merge it in, and then everybody can have it. That's all the pull request is. So now I've opened up the repository in Atom, and you can see I've got the whole tree here, and I found the copy document. So you can see it's right here. Now what I need to do is we've got a variant here, but it hasn't got the correct brackets around it. So this is just got brackets like an option. Now this whole, if you look at the examples, this whole you can write just copy. So this whole section, everything after copy is optional. And then you've got two options. This one up to here, up to this pipe, and then this one. So what we need to do is use curly braces to identify that you've got this option or that option. And now we just need to make sure that we have the right brackets matching up, which we do now. That one matches that one. That one matches that one. Okay, now we can save that, and now we can look back in SourceTree, and you can see that fixed copy syntax branch is still there, but we've got uncommitted changes. And if you look here, you can see exactly what's changed. And now this is really interesting example here, because the Atom editor has decided to change some stuff that we didn't ask it to change. So SourceTree has this neat little feature where you can just click on a button, and if it's a hunk like that, you can just discard hunk, or you can select lines if part of the change is something you want to keep, but part of that hunk is something you don't want to keep, then you can just select the lines and click on discard lines. But in our case, it's this whole hunk, so we just click on discard hunk and click OK. And now it's just that's the change that we actually want to make. We really want to avoid, if we can, and sometimes it's hard, avoid any changes that are just white space changes or things like that that aren't intended in our commits. So here we've got the file. Now what we can click on is commit up here, and then we want to highlight that one, and it'll go up into the staged files area, and then just write a commit message. And now we want to push this to origin. So our origin is our clone of the LiveCode repository now. So we click commit. And then now you can see that there's now an origin fixed copy syntax, because SourceTree's now worked out that our origin remote has its own branch called fixed copy syntax, and then it's the commit. This is pointing to a new commit, which is our change. So which is a derivative. If you look at this line here, you can see it'll go right back to the community docs branch here. So that's what this sort of lines and nodes and things means. So now what we need to do is create a pull request. So we go create pull request and click on that button, and it will open up a browser, and here it is. So now the problem here is we need to change this branch to community docs, because we want to merge it into community docs, and then we click on create pull request, and it's done. If there's any any further changes that need to be made to this fix, we can jump between branches just by double clicking on them, and now if I go back to Atom, you'll see that the fix isn't there, and now I can just double click on that and the fix is there. So it's quite easy to then, if we need to make a further change to something we've done, then it's quite easy to sort of reopen our patch, make a change, and then make another commit, and then push that to our branch, and that will then update the pull request automatically for us. We don't even have to go to GitHub. Once we, if I make a further change to this, which I don't know what it would be, but I could easily make a further change somewhere, I'm sure. Even, yes, I can't really see anything I want to change. Oh, well, let's say I decide I'm going to hard wrap this. We'll just quickly hard wrap it. Oh, it's got a lot of references. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to hard wrap it. So now you can see we will have here another commit to make. So we can just commit and then click on that, and then click on commit, and it's automatically going to push it up to origin copy file syntax. And now we'll go back to GitHub and we'll just refresh this, and you'll see now that there's now 2 commits, and it's combined all our changes into one thing. So that's what we do.